In this section we'll be seeing how to write Nmap scripts. So before we get into that, we'll learn exactly what Nmap scripting engine is. The Nmap scripting engine allows you to write your own scripts in order to automate various networking tasks, and it can make use of the Nmap API, and that makes the scripting process very simple and very effective. And NSE scripts are written in the Lua programming language, and the default NSE script directory in Linux is over here. Users share Nmap scripts, and in Windows it's in program files nmap/scripts. So we'll see some details about how NSE scripts work. All NSE scripts must have the following fields. That is a description field in which you're going to give the description of what for that script, and in categories you'll be giving the type of category. So you can see it's a safe script and it's a discovery script over here. So you give your categories like this. So also the rule section helps decide whether to execute a script or not. So they can have these four different functions. It can be a pre-rule, that is before the scan, host rule, that is based on the host, and port rule is based on port, and post is after the scan. So there are four of these rules. And the action function should be in all the NSE scripts, and it contains instructions on that tell Nmap exactly what needs to be done. So you can see over here the function action for the host and port is print hello world. So it's saying printing hello world. So this is an example script. First you're giving the description, then you're giving the category, and you're giving a port rule for the host and port, and you can see return port number is 80. So you can see after that the function action is just printing hello world. So this doesn't do much, but this is just giving you an example. So let's look at a real NSE script. This is what we'll be working with. So you're giving a description hello world, categories you're giving, and you're giving the requirement for which is HTTP, and this is based on a port rule, and the port number is 80, and what this is doing over here is it's getting the response for this page over here. So it's getting the host from the user, and it's getting and it's setting the port which is 80, and it's gonna give XAMPP/splash.php. So this page is there always when XAMPP is installed by default. So unless you remove it, it will be there, and if this file is there, that means XAMPP is installed in that computer. So if the response status is 200, then print that web server is using XAMPP. So it's as simple as that. So this is how you run a NSE script. You give Nmap, the IP address you want to scan, port, and you give -script and the NSE script that you want to use. So here you can see it's been used, Nmap, IP address, port, and the name of the script, and you can see it's saying starting Nmap, and it has found that it is using XAMPP, so it's just printed out web server is using XAMPP. So let's see how to write Nessus plugins using Nasal scripts. So what is Nasal scripting language? Nasal is a scripting language that is designed for high security checks in Nessus. Using Nasal scripts you can create your own Nessus plugins. So this is what the structure of a Nasal script will look like, and you have a description section and you have a code section. Let's look at the code section. So it's very simple. You can just give display hello world, and it'll just display hello world. So this code is for displaying hello world. So let's go to the next one. So how do you run the script? You should use the Nasal interpreter to test the code, and the file needs to be stored in these locations. In Windows it has to be in this folder, and in Linux it has to be here. And this is how you run this code. You /nasal space -t, the target IP address, and the script file. So it will look something like this. So I've given the IP address over here, and the Nasal script's name over here. So you can see an example over here. This nasal script just displays hello world, and you can see just printing out hello world. So let's see some basics of nasal. About variables, you don't need to declare variables before you use them, and you don't need to care about variable types. So in one line I can give a is equal to 1, and in another line I can give a is equal to a string, and I don't need to define them. So the hash character is the comment character in nasal scripts, and you have your basic if and else functions, and you have your for, while, all these loops, and you can even create your own user defined functions. And this is how you open a connection. So it's simple as this. So if you want to open a connection, open a socket in 21, so this is the code for that, and in order to read it, you just load it into a variable. So it's getting from here and it's just passing it to a variable. So what is in the description section? In this section you give the information to the Nessus engine, and over here you have your basic things like script ID, script name, script description, summary, category, family, copyright, all these things. And you have different script categories like gathering info. This means the script will gather info. This is an attack script, a scanner script, a kill host will be used to crash a target system. All these different categories you have. So let's write our first nasal scripts. So we'll get the details of our FTP server that is running in the target computer. So this is the code we are going to be using. So we're giving a script ID, we're giving script name, all these details in the description section. So we can just skip that. So we'll come over here. You can see it's opening a connection from 21, and it's getting the data, and what it's doing is receiving the line. It's getting length of 4096 bytes, and after that it's just going to print it. So you can see it's loading all these details into a variable called banner, and it's going to print it out. So it's going to say details of FTP server colon plus whatever is loaded in this variable. So this is what it will look like. So I'm going to run the script. I'm going to give -t IP and the nasal script name, and you can see after it's run, it's giving details of FTP, and this variable is already, this detail is already there, and this is getting it from this web server, and it's printing this data. So it's saying that it's a FileZilla server and the version and all those details. So how do you load nasal scripts into Nessus? You first save the script and you place it in this section for Linux, and you just need to restart Nessus server and it will load. So let's look at some defense for both these nasal scripts and Nmap scripts. So basically, if you have a good firewall, it will detect this sort of scanning, and of course you have to reduce your attack surface and only open ports if you really need to, and don't allow any unnecessary services to run. So let's go to the video demonstration. Thank you.